Hey everyone, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. My name is D3 here today. We will be showing off the physical Ssj Gotenks. So if you guys enjoy today's video, hit that subscribe if you're new for more content. And we have him turn 1, so we'll be able to see some of that awesome power turn 1. And if you guys have not seen the showcases for the STR Gotenks Ssj, alongside the SS Blue Kaioken Goku and free to play Trunks, I was going to say Ssj, but there we go, Ssj Trunks. All those will be down below for you guys to check out. All these units, I think, got really crazy upgrades, especially Kaioken, man, because where he was at. So here's Gotenks. I want to do a brief breakdown for him. Those are the stats for the man. Leader skills 3 key, 77% to all types. Pretty good leader skill, I'd say. Super attack now does immense damage. I believe it was Supreme previously. That's going to be a huge upgrade for him. The passive is 120%. I believe it was 100% prior when performing a super attack. Key +1 up to 3, and defense plus 30% up to 120% with each super attack performed. So he gets his defense from launching supers. So that's going to be something that we really track here and we're really aware of in this as well. So we're going to start off with him turn 1 to kind of show a little bit of this. So his starting defense on this team, no support. Obviously, this is the Fusion's team where he's getting 130 to defense. So on other teams, the defensive number starting point would probably be a little higher, of course. If he's on like Hybrid Saiyans under ST Ultimate Gohan, obviously the number would be higher. In fact, he'd probably peak there even better than any other team because Gohan's a defensive support for that matter. Regardless, though, this is where he's at here, okay? So the way this guy works is in the front spot, that's probably his worst spot to be as far as his defensive stat is concerned, but also probably his best stat to be in because you can because you can seal the enemy. So here's a fun thing that I want to point out for him. Versus something like Super Battle Road, 38,000, and then the jump here probably puts him like 45, I don't know, 50,000 I'd say, from one super if he doesn't get an additional, right? If he gets an additional, he's probably in like the mid-60s or so, which is still not too much defense, I'd say. Not anyway anymore. Definitely not enough for the harder content, long story short. But you can, you definitely have the viability of being able to pinpoint who you want to tank better versus, right? You can say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and seal you to eat some of the damage I would have potentially taken by not having any defense, if that makes sense. So it's a very, hopefully this KOs him. Ah, really? Additional? Oh, man. Okay. Very interesting unit as far as that's concerned. That's one thing I wanted to point out. I'd like to see the defense. I think it's going to be a little spiked here because it's Gotenks. Yeah, it's at 60K. That's not his number. We'll see him next turn. He needs to be alongside this Gotenks, actually, so I'll kind of sort this out. We'll let this unit normal attack to finish him off, and we'll move on from here. But yeah, that's really the only wart that he has, I think, is that he's just kind of slow. But just for the record, that's not a knock. It's fair to criticize little warts like that, I'd say, because pretty much every unit has stuff like that. Like, for example, units that have built-in dodge. Well, they can't dodge the final phase of UI Goku's event. Like, it's just, there's always units that stun, debuff. Seal, that's another type of wart that he has, I guess. But it's something that most units suffer from, right? It's just stuff like you can't do stuff at certain times, right? So where's the defense at? Yeah, 50,000 is his defensive number naturally because he has no support. Pandela's an offense support only. So yes, for the record, the number we are seeing is 50,000 defense, which is, again, it's not a bad number for a Dokkan event. If you're taking on a Dokkan event to get medals or something, that's a good number, right? And even if you're taking like easy A events on with him being a character that's part of the designated group, right, or category, he'd be fine. Well, versus Super Battle Road, he's getting shredded to pieces, right? 50,000 is not good. Wow, what an offensive jump! He jumped from like what 1.9 to 2.3. That's a pretty steep jump. But again, he still can go, and obviously he has the ability to seal the enemy to avoid any more potential damage he would potentially take. But without an item, he's still taking a ton of damage on normal attacks alone. So let's see how he evens out when he's at his max. So again, I'm just trying to really hit it from every angle and approach it from every possible angle. So if you feel like I'm being a little too hard on him, bear with me. We'll definitely obviously see him at his best. We're not even close to that yet. But for the record, I had a similar opinion of STR Gotenks kind of early on. Because at first with him, I was looking at him as a unit that was trying to do damage, when that's really not his designated role. I think he can do that. But his best role is actually as a unit that that's a support unit. As a support unit, he is disgusting. Like 40% support is crazy on a unit as good as him. So I had a similar kind of first thought about him overall. So I'm going to let him get the front spot super. The reason why is because it'll get absorbed, and I can just let the physical, or Tech Gotenks, excuse me, in the middle, get the attack there, and he'll have the 11 key super that will not get absorbed. So I'd like to see this guy's attack stat, and I don't really mind them absorbing my attacks because it's a good way to see what the unit can do attack stat wise, right? 2.5. Okay, this guy is climbing. He has more room to grow because Gotenks showing up. Oh, an additional. This should max out his defense. When we get Tech Gotenks base next time, the attack stat will jump even higher than this. 3.6. Okay. This is a good number for this guy, too. He didn't crit or anything. I was hoping he would crit, honestly, and move on. Okay, next round, I'm just going to make sure that we beat it. I'll just let us make sure that we beat it next turn with the Gogeta. Yeah, definitely, because we're guaranteed to crit now. So, definitely going to make sure we beat this. So, all right. So I'll let the front spot Gogeta here just get some normal attacks because normal attacks can't be absorbed. We're going to go here, and we'll also do normals here. Awesome. To make sure that these units are able, whoops, wrong button, to go ahead and beat this. All right. So 2.1, guaranteed crit, probably beats it. If not, that other Gogeta should be able to do it. Yeah, Gotenks should be maxed out now. Yeah, there we go. Unless he's one super off. He could be one off. Maybe I miscounted. He's one off. 100,000 defense feels like it's his max. And it's a defensive stat you can actually see, which is pretty cool. Unlike this guy who gets defense, but only on the 11 key. Like, you don't really see it until, well, it's not there. It's over here. He gets 70% defense when doing the 11 key super. So, like, you don't really see it pretty much until it's super time. So, we'll go ahead and do that. So, again, this should be pretty much his best stat overall for the defensive number, raw. So, let's see how he looks. Or, not, well, not, excuse me, the offensive number. The defensive number, too, yes. 2.7. Wow. Okay. He actually... He still does the lean thing. Oh, my God, man. This card has done that lean thing on the super attack for forever. It kills me every time I see it. They're just never going to take it out. This guy's done that since, like, what, 2016, 2017? It's been forever, man. So, here's my opinions on this Gotenks. Despite the slow build on defense, I think that the max number is enough to kind of disregard that for the most part. Now, I won't disregard that versus Super Battle Road, which is honestly, you can make the argument Super Battle Road is the hardest content in the game simply because you can't cheese it by doing stacking of defense and stuff like that to where you can get to the end of it and just destroy it. And again, that's an argument. I'm not saying it is, but versus an event like that, that's in consideration. And let me know what you guys feel about that topic. It's a whole other thing. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's something you can discuss. But versus that event, right? If I'm being honest, I don't know how often you'll be able to get enough attacks to max out his defensive stat versus one boss before you move on to the next round, right? And that applies to obviously things like boss rush or anything like that, or battlefield. Like I don't know how many attacks you'll get off before you're able to max out his defense, or how many like turns it'll take you. It really just honestly depends on the event you're taking on, like which SBR you're taking on, and how good your box is. Do you whale or not? How many? Like it just depends on a lot of things like that, I'd say. But if I look at him from a more general perspective, as far as that subject is concerned, the fact that he can still hit even 70,000 defense, pretty much 60,000, 70,000 in that area, depending on the leader skill he's under, and also depending on defense and support. That's a good enough number, especially considering he had no defense at all initially, because he was from a unit. He was a unit, excuse me, from the era of the game where all you needed was 100% attack increase, and you were nuts, right? So other than that, all he really had was a ceiling capability. So being able to have that is a huge bonus because he didn't have it at all. He hits harder, obviously, because the stat raise, SA level 15 raise, immense damage, which I'm pretty sure he didn't have previously. I believe also his attack on the passive did go up by like 20% or so. So he's obviously hitting harder, so that's a huge plus. I don't need to talk about the fact that getting to 2.7 in his best scenario on this team is honestly really impressive, because most Dokkan Fest units that are worth consideration now are hitting between, what, 2.5 to like 3 million? Or like low 2 point something, like 2.3 to like 5 million. Again, I'd have to look at it and really think about it, but he's in that area. He's in consideration with those units offensively, right? So that's obviously really impressive for him. So I'll definitely say that. And then, like I mentioned earlier on, having ceiling, even if you can't do it, is something that's awesome, because it's just more flexibility that you didn't have initially. So overall, though, really impressive unit. Definitely, I think he's pretty much exactly what he needed. The only changes I would have gave him was just, if you really were going to just do the super attack defense raise, I would have just gave him the defense outright and not needing to build it. But that's me. They could have went also more cute stuff with him, I guess, if they really wanted to. They could have gave him the, oh, versus this category, like, do something like that. Or, like, if there was a character whose name includes Majin Buu, maybe you do so. And that stuff wouldn't have been really relevant. It would have just been largely forgettable, because it's not stuff you would have obviously been faced with super often. But they could have done more cutesy stuff like that with him, I guess, if they really wanted to. But overall, though, I think he's really good, and I think he's 100% better than he was before, obviously. And I think that he'll definitely slide into more teams as a character that you'd spot into some of those teams if you're looking for more of a defensive, versatile option overall, too. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe if you are new for more content, and I'll catch all of you in the next one.